President has now signed a bill providing funding for the benefits, but the calls for Hagel's resignation have not ended. Katie Pavlich, news editor at townhall.com and a Fox News contributor, is with me now. And Katie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What have you found out by way of the White House as to when they knew about this?
Well, the White House won't say when exactly they knew about this. Fox News' Ed Henry pressed Jay Carney earlier this week about when President Obama knew. Jay Carney gave the typical answer of evading the question. We do know that the Department of Defense comptroller warned about this before the government shut down. Now, it looks like attorneys knew that this was going to happen days ago, and yet you don't see Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel raising hell about this and saying, look, these death benefits aren't going to be paid out. And they waited until Congress had to go back and reinstate new legislation yesterday to vote on it. And 24 hours later, the Senate voted on it. And then finally, President Obama.
You mentioned these attorneys now, right? We've been talking about Defense Department attorneys and Justice Department attorneys. 2 days ago, I have the report from NBC News that says White House lawyers were involved in this as well. Have we confirmed that White House lawyers were indeed in discussions with the Justice Department and the Pentagon?
That's what the reporting states, and Fox News has also reported that. But Jay Carney, once again, won't answer the question. Who was involved? Who made the decision? And the problem here is that President Obama, Commander-in-Chief, hasn't come out to make a statement about this. He's in charge. I agree with Bill O'Reilly. Where was Chuck Hagel on this? He's lost the faith of the military. The military families aren't getting their benefits. And talk about political stunt. This week was the first time that Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel made his way to Dover Air Force Base to receive the bodies of the fallen. 29 troops have been killed since the shutdown happened on October 1st, and this is the first time that he's been there.
Katie, are you of the mind that Chuck Hagel is the one who takes the fall for this? Does he resign?
I don't think that he'll resign, but I would hope in a moment of leadership that President Obama would ask him to submit his resignation. This is something you do not violate. And the biggest question here is, when it comes to the government shutdown, it's about priorities. And why weren't death benefits for those killed overseas, because we are still at war, put on the essential list? How is it that death benefits were put on the non-essential list when it comes to a government shutdown? And I would hope that next time around, because this could happen again, that they make sure that death benefits for those families are on the essential list when it comes to funding during a government shutdown.
But specifically on Hagel, do you think he's going to walk the line on this, or is this something that just blows over in time?
Given the track record of people having to submit their resignation over things, I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
Okay, Jay Carney yesterday said the president apparently had a walk in the garden again with his chief of staff, Dennis McDonough, and he was advised about what was happening. The president said, go ahead and fix it and get it done and find a creative way to do it. But what Carney also said is that their interpretation of the law, the Pay Our Military Act law, did not appear to fix it, meaning the death benefits were not legally able to go back to the family. I just find that wording peculiar. Did not appear to fix it. What that tells you is that people are interpreting the law, and the attorneys were involved in this to find what they believe, the words meant here, and right. they thought, hey, it doesn't appear that we have to go forward with this.
Right. Why are they, the word appear makes you think, why were they focusing in this idea that maybe we shouldn't be giving these benefits? The benefit of the doubt should be on always sending out the benefits. The focus shouldn't be on trying to make sure that maybe there's an option to not send these benefits. And that gives credibility to the argument that they were doing this to make it hurt and to make the shutdown hurt and to make people realize that without the government running on its heels, we're going to make it as painful as possible on a political side. And that's why I would hope that President Obama would hold Secretary of State Hagel accountable and that this won't happen again.
Ultimately, though, you've got to be bigger than this. I mean, you have to overcome this. Yeah, if you can make a demand on a Tuesday night to go ahead and get creative, you should get creative before it's even a possibility, Katie.
This should have happened. President Obama should have issued an executive order the second he found out about this. Again, there is no reason why we need to even go through this in the case of a government shutdown. Death benefits for military families should be on the essential list when it comes to what is paid out during a government shutdown. We shouldn't have to go through this. It's taken way too long.
Katie, thanks for your time. Katie Pavlich there in Washington. But Jay Carney also said yesterday that the matter's been decided because a private charity's kicking in. That is absolutely wrong. Anyway, we'll let you go. We'll talk more about this a bit later today, okay? Katie, thank you.
Thanks,
from
Bill.
Washington, 20 past. Martha.